All right, everyone, welcome. Let me just make sure our technology is working. Something was happening with technology. So sorry that we're a little bit late, but we are here, and I am so excited to get this party started with the amazing Liz Benny. So again, let me just make sure we are live and that you guys can see us. Yes, okay, we're good. Yay! Liz, I'm so excited to have you here. So if you guys are here live, please hashtag live. If you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay. I know that so many of you are so excited for this interview and just hearing more about the story, right? Like what it took for you to arrive at this incredible life that you've been leading. And also, I think beyond some of the metrics of success, I think also the impact that you're having in the world, right? So we have TC Chambers is here. So let us know if you guys are live. So you're making an incredible impact in the world. And so I want to start by huge Kapow to everyone who's here and to the queen of Kapow herself. So Liz, can you in a minute just introduce yourself to anyone who I don't know how you don't know who Liz Benny is, but in case you've been living under a rock and you don't know who Liz Benny is, can you introduce yourself in terms of what are you working on? Why should people know about you? What are you doing in the world?
Oh my gosh. Firstly, thank you so much for inviting me along to be interviewed here today. This is going to be super fun. And for all of those about to who have just heard me, believe me, right here, right now, my goal here is to assist you in living an amazing, amazing, amazing life. And that's why it's super important for me to say yes to interviews like this. So super duper duper excited. TC Chambers just said Kapow. So yes, my name is Liz Benny. I am known as the Queen of Kapow. And most of the time when I jump on a live, I say, hey, you know, Miss Kapow, my name is Liz Benny. And anyway, here's the deal. I live in Christchurch, New Zealand with my amazing wife, Christy, and our two amazing kids. And since, I don't know, like a couple of years ago, I've been living the most incredible, amazing, well, I've actually always had an amazing, incredible life, but I've been leading an amazing movement called the Kapow Movement. And I help people live the most incredible, amazing lives by helping them make money online and then live an amazing, cool life. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yes. So I have to share how I first learned of Liz. So Liz has been killing it with her online courses, with her content, with the work that she's doing, and also with her Facebook ads. So that's how I first learned about Liz. So I'm just scrolling on my Facebook, and here's this amazing woman with all this energy, and she's so positive, and she's just so I think the biggest thing that got me to want to be part of your community and the movement, the Kapow movement that you're building, is your heart, just the size of your heart. And I could tell that from the first video, and I was like, who is this woman? And how do I join whatever she's doing? Because I want in. And so that was my first introduction to the world of Kapow and to Liz Benny. And since then, I've been on a journey where I've joined her group. If you guys haven't already joined her group, you definitely should. We'll share more information about how to do that. You guys are here. Everyone is here because you guys are entrepreneurs. You guys are coaches, you're consultants. You are trying to take your life and your business to the next level. And so much of that happens these days online, right? And so when I was starting and I was thinking of, well, how do I succeed online? How do I take my life and my business to the next level? I had been following Liz for a while. And then I knew she had this course on building online courses, and I was like, I'm in, but I had no idea what I was in for. I didn't know that I was in for so much more than just a course, but really an entire community and tribe that she's built. So many of you here who are going to be watching this live or who are going to be watching this on the replay. And so that was my introduction. I just want to say I am so grateful for what you do and who you are in the world, and the work that you do and the person that you're being really makes an impact, and it really makes a difference. And I so appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just, look, here's the deal. I love hearing feedback like that, not from an egotistical standpoint, but it's really cool to hear feedback like that, because I I really just want to make a freaking massive impact in the world. I want to help people live the most incredible, amazing life. And I've developed this cool thing called Kapow. And this is actually one of my hats here for my brand. And my goal really is to unlock and act as the catalyst in people's lives. And it's just so cool to know, like, Cody Jefferson, my brother from another mother, is here right now.
Hey, Cody.
It's so cool because, like, the Facebook ads, like that, it takes courage to put so much energy into Facebook ads. It takes courage to come out there into the world and go, hey, cool, wake up, shake up, and all that sort of good stuff. It takes an extreme amount of courage sometimes because there is stuff that comes back when you are a big ball of energy. There's stuff that comes back. I've had some horrible comments about my eyebrows, about crazy stuff on Facebook ads. But you know what? It's you just keep going because the brighter the light, the darker the shadow sometimes. And, you just gotta keep going.
Yeah. So Liz, clearly you were born and then you were like, immediately you were like, boom, successful. I am making all of the money online. I know exactly how to, like, what to do. They had no struggles at all. Tell us, like, what did it take to get to where you are right now? What's the backstory of the business that you're leading now, the movement that you've created, and the life that you're living? Like, how did you get here? How did you become what you are right now?
I love that question. Okay, so I'm gonna be raw, real, and honest. That's who I am to the marketplace, and I just I tell it like it is. And of course, you are 100% correct, Luz, that I literally had no struggles whatsoever, and I just suddenly became a royal ball of success.
That's how it happens.
No. That is absolutely not true. That is absolutely completely and utterly BS. So here's the deal. And I'm guessing there are a ton of people watching right now that just know, like, you're born to be different. You're not normal. You're not a 9-to-5er. You're not a white picket fencer. You're not, there's something that's just different, and you want more in life. You know that you can have the most incredible, amazing life. But you're going to have to do things differently from the norm. So sometimes it's a bumpy road to go from a normal life to an extraordinary life, because it's not often the pathway isn't set for you. Sometimes you've got to actually forge your own pathway. So here's the deal, though. I do know that a lot of what I've done in the past, in terms of jobs, in terms of university, in terms of stuff that I've done along the way, has actually assisted me to have the skills that I've needed in order to become, successful, and also have the resilience and have the mindset and have the courage. So it's all these things along the way that gets you to a point in time. Now, I will be very honest with everyone right now. I don't even feel like I've started the Kapow movement properly yet.
Wow.
Like, I mean, it's amazing. It's cool. People send me Kapow stuff from around the world. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this Kapow thing just got crazy big. And like, it's like my team suddenly grew 2 weeks ago to like 3 more people. I was like, this is amazing. Like, how do I do this? And I'm just like, okay, cool. Just roll with the punches. Just roll with the joy. Just roll with it. But the background here super quickly is, grew up on a farm. I was a farm girl. And one of my very first jobs in the entire world was I got paid 50 cents per hour picking up sheep poo off the ground in a shearing shed in New Zealand, and I had to split out the wool from the sheep poo, and I got paid to divide those two things, and that was my job. That was my very first job in the entire world. Not the most glamorous job in the world, Dow. But I always knew, like, as a kid, I always had these like entrepreneurial ideas, and I used to mow the lawn and if them for my dad. And like, I just remember this one day it got caught. It got too filled up with stuff, and I was like holding this green stuff going, what can I make with this? So I've always kind of wanted to make something and build a company. But I did the thing. I did the normal thing. I went to high school. I went to university. I've got a Bachelor of Social Sciences, and I've got a Master's in Management. And those things are really good because they taught me discipline. I am dyslexic, and in order to get a Master's with distinction, I had to learn how to hack what my disabilities were. So I had to learn differently to most people. So, and then I've traveled around the world. I was a chauffeur in Colorado, and then I got a taste of what life could potentially be like, because I was basically driving multimillionaires all around the place, and it was amazing. And it was really cool. Like, these people were like dropping out the Benjamins to me all the time just because of who I was. So that's where I learned storytelling. So it's like all along the way here, I'm learning all these key skills. The better the story I told, the more money I would make.
And write that down, guys. Storytelling, important. We're talking about skills. 100%. Storytelling, super important.
Definitely. Storytelling. The better the stories I told, the more money I would make in tips. Definitely. And I would drive them for 2 hours from Denver International Airport to Vail, Colorado, and that's where I lived. And you know, back and forth, and you got really, really, really good at telling good stories. And then I did the corporate thing. I got my master's degree. I did the corporate thing. And I remember being downtown Sydney, Australia, and it was amazing. It was just absolutely amazing. And now I'm doing my Australian accent. And I remember being like, I've got my degree. Now I'm successful. And I remember being there in my business suit and walking up like Martin Place. And I had this big beaming smile on my face, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And TC Chalmers, yes, it truly was a shit job.
Hey, Naomi. Hey, TC. Hey, Cody. Good to see you guys here.
So anyway, so I was walking up Martin Place in Sydney, downtown Sydney, Australia, and I realized one day that I was the only person that was smiling. And I was like, like, this isn't me. This isn't what I want. So eventually I left Australia, jumped into entrepreneurialism. First thing I ever did as an entrepreneur, like a proper entrepreneur, was network marketing.
Okay.
We started there. I think we've all started, but it was actually direct sales. And then I jumped into some more things. But when it became solid for me is when I put together my agency. And I literally started in services. I think that's actually the best place for most people to start, is doing something for someone else. So I started in services. I had my agency, and then from there, I made $25,000 in my first year, made $181,000 in my second year because I had to, because 25 G's, living off 25 G's per year, it's not cool.
Yes, absolutely.
And then
you had your wife and the kids, right, at the same time.
And we had an old, like a hunga-dunga old car. It didn't have heating. We were in a house that had no bricks on the outside. Like, it was not good.
Yeah.
And anyway, so the rest is kind of history. Like, I took the knowledge from those things, created it into an online program called Social Monkey Business. That was my very first $1 million project. And, you know, that project all started with Facebook. Well, I put together the project, but it was Facebook advertising that took me from being a nobody here in Christchurch, New Zealand, to a person who is now touching lives around the world. So, yeah.
I think, you know, it's so amazing. I remember watching your first webinar through the world of online and just like hearing about like your story. And I think at some point maybe I cried a little bit. I was like, oh my God, like I saw so much of my own story in yours. And I think what I want people who are here, if you guys are watching, what I want you guys to take away is you're not like born successful. It's not like you got here and like, you know, Liz had it made. She knew exactly how to thrive online. She knew exactly, like she gained the skill sets. She took what she knew how to do and she went after it. And I'm assuming you made some mistakes along the way.
Holy crap. Yes, totally made a ton of mistakes along the way. But to be very honest with you, I don't look at them as mistakes. Like, I look back and I go, that wasn't that felt like a mistake, but it was, they're not mistakes. The only mistake is if you can't learn from it, right? And you have a tank, you have a webinar that tanks. Well, it wasn't a mistake. You literally just need to find, like, you learn how not to do it. And I know that that's an old cliche, but you know, it really, like, I've made, let's just use the word mistake as like the way that it's normally used. Yes, I've made tons of mistakes. There've been wrong decisions. I've hired the wrong people. I have formed the wrong business partnerships with people. I haven't seen that people were actually using me rather than, you know, like there's some horrible people out in this marketplace. And the moment that I started to become someone, it was like people just came on in, and I didn't know how to easily decipher between the horrible ones and the ones who genuinely, oh my gosh, Patricia Papulias is online.
Hey, Patricia, Louise, Maria. Aletha,
Oh,
Kristen is here. Good to see
Kristen,
you.
massive congratulations to you, Kristen. That's a little code language there. Kristen actually just got going in one of our cool programs, so I'm so excited.
Oh, yes. That's so, congratulations, Kristen. That's so amazing.
So excited.
So cool.
Yeah.
So you've had this journey. You've learned some lessons along the way. So what I think is, what I'm really curious about, and I know that a lot of the people here, again, you guys are consultants, you're new entrepreneurs, you've been in entrepreneurship for years, or maybe you guys are individuals who you want to be shitting, like, I am in. This is go time, and it's no longer about thinking about being successful, but I am going to be successful. Like, was there a moment like that in your life?
Yeah, many, like, seriously, I am one of the people that I self-assess every single day. Where am I at? Yeah. Where am I at? Where am I at? My belief system is this: I'm dead soon. So I might as well live whilst I'm alive. Like, and I know that I'm 39 years old and I can project out and go, right, so I've got this number of years kind of to live and live large and just like, I'm a projector. I go out into the future and I know what's happened in my past and I can see it, right?
Yeah.
So my big thing here is, like, there have been many moments when I've gone, this is not okay. Yeah. My current reality is not okay. I do not accept this as my current reality. It doesn't feel as powerful as I know I am. And this is not okay. So it's a conversation that I have all the time. Like, it really is. If I was to use much more colorful language, which I will choose not to do in a public domain right now, but I like, it's the effort moment, like, no, this is not okay. This is not okay. Yeah. And then from there, you can go, I choose to cut myself off from the way that it's been. And now I open myself up to a new reality. I know what I want. Now, what do I need to do to get there? And I think it's a constant phase. It's a constant process of setting myself to a higher standard. And also then loving myself through that process as well, because, there's a difference between force and faith, and it's forcing something is not faith, but you've got sometimes you got to put you've got to put the hammer, or you've got to put the accelerator down and go. But then you've got to know, like, am I forcing this now? Do I need to stop and heal something, like remove the limiting belief from my existence that's not, like, helping me right now? Or forgive someone? Like, honestly, for everyone watching this right now, if you want the biggest hack to help you become the most successful entrepreneur ever, it's one word and it starts with F. It's not the naughty word. It's all good. It's not the naughty word. The one word is forgiveness, right? Forgiveness. And, like, for a lot of us, like, we think that entrepreneurial is this game. Entrepreneurialism is this game of strategy and webinars and branding, and it is. Yeah. But up here, like, if you're busy going, my mum did this and I can't do this, my dad did this and that person did this, and if your mind is pretty much, like, filled up with, like, if this is our mind, and if your mind is mostly filled up with all the people that did you wrong and all the things that you did wrong, it's not gonna work easily. So forgiveness, my first thing to everyone right now is, if you are truly wanting to step into entrepreneurialism to become the best version of yourself right now, seriously, forgive all the people who you believe have done wrong by you, including yourself.
That's beautiful. And I think that's so powerful. And I think, guys, I'm going to go here because this is a conversation where we're flowing, we're in conversation. I have heard people talk about how entrepreneurship can be one of the most spiritual journeys that you can go on, right? It's also, if you don't want to call it spirituality, maybe you just want to call it personal development. Entrepreneurship is that, like, it is one of those vehicles that is the strongest in you developing yourself, whether it be, you think of it spiritually, whether you think of it just personal development. And so it's making these decisions, and it's things like forgiveness, and it's almost like that clarity, that space, both in your heart, in your mind, like spiritually having that open space for what it is that you want to create. So I think that's super beautiful.
If it's noisy inside, it's hard to be in flow with God, spirit, universe, whatever your higher power is, whatever. It's hard to be in flow if you're busy stuck in the past.
Yes.
You can't do it. Yeah. So, I know that, a lot of us are driven, like we're all driven in different ways. So for those of you watching this right now, I would say to you, the other thing too is be mindful of how you are driven. For some people, you're driven to make an impact, and like you just want you're pretty much 90% impact driven, you're 10% money driven or whatever. And some of you are like, you know what, I just want to become massively wealthy because just know how you are driven and be okay with how you're driven, and don't get down on yourself. Know how you are driven and then tap into that on a daily basis. So for me, like I know that I have more energy than most people, and I used to tell myself that there was something wrong with me. Like, and people are like, "Oh, you're going too fast. You're going to burn out." I'm like, I've got so much of this energy. It's funny. Like, what do you mean? And I can be up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go through to 11 o'clock at night. Now, I might get to a point 5 days later when I'm like, I might need to go a little bit slower today to recover. But I work best, honestly. I work best from 10 p.m. at night until 2 a.m. in the morning.
I am with you. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely feel you, like the whole, I think so many people are like, oh my God, so much energy. I'm like, well, yeah, it has to go somewhere. So funnel your energy somewhere good that's going to guide you to the sort of life that you want to create. So that was awesome. So we got to know a little bit more about your background. We got to know about some of the decisions that you made. The next conversation that I want to jump into is, let's talk about money, shall we? Can we talk about financial abundance and how that connects to building a business, right? So the concept of, are you in a hobby or are you building a business? And what's your mindset, and what are the thoughts that you had prior to and now with your relationship with money and entrepreneurship? Like, when you're building a business, you have to make money, right? Like, no money, no impact, no money, no business, really. So tell us a little bit more about how you thought about your wealth, your results, your outcomes, your milestones that you wanted to reach, and the mindset that aided you in getting to the place where you are.
Okay. I love this. So can you just rephrase those questions back to me again? I just want to make sure I caught them.
So money and entrepreneurship, they're connected, right? To be a successful entrepreneur, you have to connect those two. So how do you connect them? How do you see them in your mind? And what do you think the mindset has been that has guided you, that's helped you in connecting those two in a way that's healthy and that has led to actual financial success?
I love this. Okay. So all of us with money, we've all been told stuff from the past, period. That's it. Like we learn our money beliefs even before we're able to really truly conceptualize what that is even all about. Right. Yeah. And I didn't grow up all that wealthy. Holidays, it's something that other people did, and we didn't really do that and all that sort of good stuff. Had an amazing upbringing though. Like, I mean, I lived on a farm, but it's just one of those things. I knew that we were without something that was special to other people, right? But it's not like I had a bad upbringing in that regard at all. I never went without food. I never went without, love and all that sort of stuff. So what I will say is this: I think though, in this day and age, there are subconscious things that are always being told to us, around money. If we look at movies, we see the evil business person that, it was conniving and he made his money that way. Yeah. And we don't tend to look at people like Russell Brunson, my dear friend Russell Brunson, or a lot of the people that I hang out with. They've made their money doing so much good. Yes. And I think that the world honestly is changing right now, where entrepreneurialism is seen as this vehicle to serve the world and serve its leaders in a way that is representative to the value that they put out in the world. So I know that, like, I've put a crap ton of value out in the world. I've got 2 Comic Club awards up on that wall up there. Yeah. And I don't have them. This is actually a really cool thing to know. I don't have them behind me. Like, a lot of people have them behind them because they want to use them for marketing purposes. Oh, look at me, and I've made all this money, as if it's something blah, 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 blah. Now, I have them up there because I'm reminding myself, because I have to remind myself of how far I've come quite often. So those are represented, those are more of a beacon for me of, hey, you've come this far.
Yeah.
Now what else can you do? Because, you know, Social Monkey Business, my first online program, like, it's like, it became like so humbling. The amount of lives that one program has changed. Is an amazing student of mine, Cielo Lynn. She's in Colorado. She bought that program. She's actually, like, there's tons of amazing success stories, and this all connects back to money, right? Because I had to sell those services. I truly believe, or sell those programs. If I give online programs away for free, which I've done many times, the person doesn't get results out the other side. Period. That's it.
Amen. Amen. I hope you guys wrote that one down.
They just don't, because they don't respect it. And even like people who I've given stuff to for free, they don't. And even if I say, hey, you know, this is $5,000 to people over there, you're getting it for free, they're like, oh, cool, thanks. I'm like, sweet. Like, they don't feel that value, right? So back to Cielo. And by the way, for those of you wondering what I'm doing, I literally have, like, I'm a fidgeter when I'm on stuff like this. So I'm like thumbtack or blue. We call it blue tack in New Zealand. Normally have like a ball, but I'm literally fiddling my entire way through this right now and rolling this up, and like I'm rolling it on the desk here. So yeah. Cielo, I remember I was actually working on a Saturday or Sunday, one of the two, and she put in a support deck, and I saw it coming through. Yeah. And I remember, and she was like, how can I get in? Like, I only have this much money. How can I get in? I have it in PayPal. I need to pay by PayPal. And I just trusted. I knew to let her in. And she got the lowest tier price point. So she jumped into Social Monkey Business at $397. And that she had $500, I think, to her name. Yeah. And she invested $397 of that money into this program. Now, I didn't know that she only had that much money to her name. And just like, I think it was 6 months later, she closed a $70,000 deal. Awesome. So you look at something like that, and she's not living in an asbestos-ridden house anymore. Yeah. Her and her daughter, like, just her life has changed. So with money, here's what I will say is when you first get going in entrepreneurialism, it's okay to want to make that first sale. But what I did wrong in the beginning, and I've done tons of personal development. I always knew that I wanted to be wealthy. I always knew I wanted to be a highly paid entrepreneur. I always knew that. And I always knew as well that it was okay. Like, I've never gotten down on it at all. I'm like, I want to be really wealthy because I want and deserve that life. So I really and truly worked on the fact that I deserve to be able to jump on a plane and go somewhere if I want to. I deserve to, as long as in my mind I've provided enough value. I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't hurt anyone. I've provided enough value to accumulate my wealth. Yes. And yeah, so it's amazing. So for me, there is a connection between, like, the mindset of money is probably one of the most the thing that I see the most where people fail is where they feel like they don't deserve to be paid for the value that they provide to the world. Yeah. And you know, within my coaching programs, I love watching people make that deservability leap. It's like, oh no, I just put my prices up. And the person said yes, and it was easier to when, like, I was charging $5,000 and I've put it up to $8,000. I'm like, was it easy? Like, yeah, it was easier. Cool. Yeah. Sweet. It doesn't mean, for those of you watching this right now, it doesn't mean artificially put your results, your prices up and just for want of a better phrase, rape and pillage and just, you know, but I think honestly there is a change in the way entrepreneurs are functioning right now. An amazing man called Alex Becker, 8-figure earner, not maybe even a 9-figure earner. Literally 2 days ago on Facebook, told everyone that he sold his mansion, he sold his Lambo, he sold everyone. I still didn't sell everyone. Everything. Because he realized money's money. Like, what money's money. So for me personally, I'm not driven by material possessions. My house is paid off, which is great. We've looked for other houses to kind of upgrade, and we're like, it doesn't make me happier. So why would I don't need money to make me feel happy. I've not been into my bank account for 3 years. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, one thing that I want to highlight for you guys who are watching is just this idea of you can be an impactful entrepreneur. You can care about your people. You can care about the world, and you can give yourself the permission to be wealthy, want to be wealthy, to make money, and to have those decisions of how you live your wealth life be in accordance with your values, right? So it might mean, selling your $1 million mansion, or like whatever your values are. So get really clear as to who you are and what this concept of wealth means to you. Great.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. We can also, everyone who's watching, we can get some, amens, hallelujahs. Yes. So the more that you guys play with us, the better. I want to say hello to, we have Lucila, Aletha, Alicia, Kristen, TC, Natalie, Henry, amazing people here. So great to have you guys. Aaron, awesome. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so you built this movement. You built this thing called Kapow. Well, what is Kapow? What does Kapow mean? Where did it come from? Like, why Kapow? Like, jealous about Kapow.
Okay, so here's the deal. Firstly, let's play a game with everyone. I want to see if you can all like playful out with me right now. Everyone who is here, just write Kapow in the questions and answers box here. I want to playful out with you here. And if this is your interview, if they want to ask me any specific questions here as well, I'm more than happy to get those answered as well. But you got to say Kapow, or else I'm not going to answer your question. Yeah. You
guys got it. So write Kapow, and then you can ask your questions, and I'll be looking through the questions, and we'll make sure to get to them during this interview. Richard, Chris is saying Kapow. TC Chambers saying Kapow. Everyone's playing full out. So I want you guys to say Kapow, and we're going to...
Kapow isn't this thing that I suddenly went, I'm going to go to a branding person. I'm going to think of a word, and I'm going to... No. It happened literally, like it just unfolded. It genuinely unfolded. And thank you, everyone who is playing full out right now and saying Kapow. I love you all. You are amazing. So here's the deal. Before I became an entrepreneur, before I started up the business, Jinka Social, right? So that was my social media management company. And like before I started, I used to like say the word Kapow. Like I used to say Kapow. Kapow was an expression of joy. It was, Richard, I love you, my friend. Thank you for saying Kapow. So Kapow was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so Kapow today. And it was this expression of joy. It was an expression of excitement. It was like this explosion of energy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And people around me started saying it as well. I was like, what? Like they've caught the Kapow bug. This is amazing. This is kind of cool. But this was just within my friend circles.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool. And then what happened was when I wrote my very first Facebook ad, I wrote the words up the top, hey, and a massive Kapow. Exactly. See, here's the thing. You just did it. You know Kapow. And I'm like,
yeah.
What is this even? And it's literally just happened. And I've just trusted and trusted and trusted. And it's become this thing like, hey, you know, Miss Kapow, my name is like, I mean, I can do it left, right, and center. I can do it in my sleep. And it was just this really, really, really cool thing. But so I said it, I literally wrote it in my, wrote it in my very first Facebook ad. This is static Facebook ads. This is not video Facebook ads in any way, shape, or form. Now I do video Facebook ads now because I've learned how to be on camera. I sucked on camera in the beginning. Hint, everyone, I literally sucked on camera at the beginning. I was like, hi, my name is Liz Benny. Please register for my webinar. Oh, God, that bad. But, cool question, TC. I like it. Okay, so here's the deal. Wrote it in my very first Facebook ad, started saying it in the Social Monkey Business community, like the Facebook group. And I was like, Kapow at the end. And then it started going into our support desk and people and I'm like, this is great. Like, this is really, really, really cool. So it just became this movement. And then Russell Brunson and I were talking one day and back and forth. And the whole concept of me being the queen of Kapow came up. I was like, oh God, like this is amazing. So hey, you know, Mr. Kapow, my name is Liz Benny. I'm the queen of Kapow. Like, and it just feels right. So then people started to ask me, like, what does Kapow mean? I'm like, I don't know.
It's just Kapow.
so I would, but it forced me to really stop. And through a ton of meditation, I was like, well, what do I really stand for? What does this movement stand for? And what do people know me as being? Right. So I was like, So I really stopped and asked myself this question. Christy went away one weekend with one of our daughters on like a mummy-daughter trip, and I had like the whole house to myself. We've got 2 massive whiteboards. I'm like, I'm scribbling and scribbling and scribbling. So anyway, long story short is Kapow, I made it stand for something that I really wanted. I really wanted to make a difference in the world and to be something that I could stand by for the rest of my life, because I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I want to, like, this is just me now. Like, this is my thing. This is what I do. And Kapow stands for connection.
Okay, connection.
It's spelled incorrectly. So one of the first things that we have to do as entrepreneurs in society is to break societal norms, to break societal connection, connecting with the right people. So connecting externally with the right people and also connecting internally with God's Spirit universe, whatever your belief system is, to fill your own cup. So connection, authenticity, positivity, ownership, and wealth. Ownership, what I mean by that is taking ownership for that which you need to take ownership for, to grow, to learn, to be, so that you can have the W, which is your wealth. And wealth to me begins with health. Like, you've got to be able to,
wealth begins with health.
Health is my greatest version of wealth. Just like, I have my health and I have other forms of wealth as well. I've got relationship wealth, monetary wealth. Anyway.
Yeah. So Kapow, to everyone, it is an incredible movement. So we're talking about Kapow. The follow-up question I want to ask about that's really related to what you've built here with the movement, you've made an incredible community, right? There's amazing people here who I met through your Facebook group. So I think Kapow, beyond like the 5 concepts, it's also, it's a movement, it's a tribe, it's people coming together. It's incredible people. Many of you who are watching here live, like many of you have become some of my best friends. So can you talk about how this movement also turned into like a tribe? It turned into like community building, and how did you do that well? And why is that important for entrepreneurs to think about as they're building their business?
I love that. Okay. So, hey, by the way, what's up, Mario? Good to see you, my little
Hey,
bro.
Mario.
Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for hooking a sister up with some pumpkin spice coffee. I love that. For those of you that are wondering what that is, I literally drove 20 minutes not long ago, around an hour ago, to get to the only Starbucks that we have here in New Zealand to get a pumpkin spice latte, because I was in America 3 weeks ago for 3 weeks, and I just fell in love with the pumpkin spice latte, but sadly there was none here in New Zealand. Anyway, so in terms of a movement, let's talk about building a movement, and let's talk about why a movement is important to build. Is that the right?
And community, right? Because what I think you've done really right in building a movement, I think people can talk about building a movement, but what you've done just like really well is, as part of building your movement, you've created a community. People are connected. They're talking to each other, right? Like, how did you do it, and why is it important for entrepreneurs?
Great, brilliant question. So I'm going to be raw, real, and honest with everyone here, and let everyone know, like, the first time around when I did it, you missed the A in Kapow, authenticity. So TC Chambers, that's authenticity. So for me, like the very first time that I did it was with Social Monkey Business. And it was actually quite cool because Russell Brunson and I were talking back and forth, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, look at what you're doing." And I was like, because he's in the Social Monkey Business Facebook group. Yeah. And he was watching me grow. He's my coach. He was watching me grow. Yeah. And he was like, and I started calling everyone in there monkeys, like, "What's up, monkeys?" Social monkey business, right? And then everyone else just started calling everyone monkeys. And this is where, like, Russell was watching me grow this thing. And I was like, I don't even know what's happening, but I knew that I wanted people to feel at home. That was my big thing, because I don't want anyone to ever feel like, I think feeling lost as an entrepreneur is one of the crappiest feelings in the world. We literally are actually looking to, I'm not going to say it here because I don't want this to be a publicity thing, but entrepreneurial loneliness is a problem I'm very soon looking to solve with some cool stuff. But here's the deal, is that when you are part of something and when you become something. So what I did was I started to look at companies like Apple. I started looking at companies like, Nike, or maybe not so much Nike, but Apple. Like, you are Apple, you speak Apple, you be Apple, you've got your Apple thing. You kind of frown upon anyone that's got an Android, because when you send your iMessage or your message to someone with an Android, it comes up green instead of blue. So you're not like them, right? So I realized that, and because I'd done a lot of marketing for my clients when I was in social media, like, I knew the ones that worked were ones that I could really, really, really get the owners behind the concept of, let's build like this community. And I helped a company here in Christchurch like blow themselves up and get tons of people in, just raving fans. And I used to, it was really cool, actually. I used to call it my little minions. I was like, we're going to watch what's going to happen, because I knew that they were so, like, the people, when they saw the post come up on Instagram or Facebook, they were the brand. They became the brand, right? So and I really helped business owners understand, guys and girls, like, this isn't yours. Like, Kapow's not mine. If I can help people feel that Kapow is theirs and not mine, then they are Kapow, we are Kapow together. And what that does is that it yes, I'm the leader of this Kapow movement, but when you start to get people saying Kapow Liz and like, what's up, and then, hey, you're massive Kapow, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're even saying what I say. So the reason why it's important is to help people feel a connection to the movement, connection to the brand, connection to the, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. Like, I have a thing up on my board here. In fact, I'm going to grab it. It's a handy dandy piece of paper, which I'm going to quickly talk through. Have you heard me talk about this concept here before, Luz?
No. It's okay. We talked about this. Like, that takes me back to college with the professors being like, Luz. And I'm like,
it's so funny, because people literally called me Luz Binny, like, because it's a mirror. Like, anyway, so we're practically the same person right now. So this concept here, if you build your movement the right way, you take people from, is it possible? Is it possible for others? Is it possible for me? And is it probable for me? Very quickly through, because they get to see so closely to them people being successful. And I was like, oh my gosh, like Alex Elliott is Kapowing. Like, this is amazing. Anyway, one of us. Oh yeah. Anyway, does that answer that question?
Yes. So I think I want people to think, because I think we sometimes think of community building separate from entrepreneurship. And I want everyone who's here to really think about, when you are building your business, I want you guys to start thinking, and, if you guys are not following Alex Elliott, you definitely do need to follow her, because she's just killing it. And she helps, and somebody like Liz Benny is killing it in community building. And there's so many of you who are watching this right here, right now, who are killing it when it comes to community building. And for those of you that haven't really thought about, who are my communities? Where do they hang out? I talk about taking them on a date. Where do you take them on a date? Like, is it going to be your Facebook group, your newsletter? But build community, right? Building community. And it's so important. And what I've seen is whether it's Apple, whether it's you, whether it's Alex, the people that are really successful, they were strategic and really intentional about community building.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
I wasn't strategic. I just gave a crap, and that's it. And the difference with me is that when I jump in and do a Facebook Live in the Kapow with Liz Benny Facebook group, like, people know that I'm there for them. I could be doing all these other things, but I get in there like, So I think that, like, it's that people know if you're being strategic about, like, oh, this post is put up to elicit such and such. That's not me. With that said, I could have been markedly more strategic than I am. A person who is more strategic than me is definitely Alex Elliott. Like, she rocks. I just do it differently, like, with where my skill set lies, whichever one you want to say that. I think that's what we all need to kind of, like, we need to play to our strengths. And I happen to be great over in certain other areas. And I think you were just like a natural at it.
So we're coming up to the conclusion here pretty soon. We're gonna Liz, are you okay with going over like 5 minutes since we started?
Totally. I can get 10 minutes more. We're good. We're absolutely good.
So if you were to talk about so there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. One is I want to talk about investment and education and like what role did that play in your success? Did you invest in yourself? You talked about responsibility, right? Like being responsible for your education and courses that you were taking. So what did that look like on your journey to where you are right now?
Love it. Okay, so here's the deal. Most people who jump into the entrepreneur game haven't got a master's degree. I do have a master's degree. So something that I actually am starting to tell, like I know that my master's degree taught me incredible skills in terms of getting stuff done, deadlines, being structured, being very systematic. And I became a really like a systems thinker. That's part of the reason why I'm able to be creative, but also systemize things in a way, which is one of my points of difference in the marketplace. Is a lot of people that teach people how to build online stuff that they can do the overarching like strategy, they can do the theory, but when they get down into the weeds, they're like, yes, go have fun with that. I'm like, maybe teach them, maybe. Anyway, so for me, like my education, I mean, everyday education, like I'm literally committed to becoming the best version of myself every single day. It is my responsibility to hold myself to a higher standard. It's not Christie's. It's not anyone else's. If I want life, it's up to me to be able to do that. So, but here's the thing, is that like investing in a coach, which is what I did. I invested in with coaching with Russell some years ago now. Like that was probably from an entrepreneurial standpoint, one of the best decisions I had ever made. Number one, I chucked a chunk of change down on the table. And when you do that more often than not always, because some people invest in with me and then they kind of toddle off and do other things. I'm going, I'll talk about that because it's not just education. Like education is not enough. Like, yes, I've got a master's degree. Yes, I hired Russell Brunson, but there are so many people that hire Russell Brunson and then still don't do anything with it. And I think that's the next thing is like education is key, yes, but only if you're actually committed in the first place to getting the results that you actually aspire to get or that you desire. So for me, one of the biggest things, and it's that I look for in coaching clients now, and we're super careful with who we let into our coaching programs because we want people that are set up. They've set themselves up the right way. So for me, I'm looking to work with people who are prepared to make it a must. Like, I think I want success. Well, do you want it or not? Yeah. Yes or no? Okay, cool. And are you prepared to make it a must? Yes or no? And then why is it a must? And we make sure that it is a must for that person. Because like if you don't have a big enough why, I can tell you that the only reason why I was able to make millions of dollars in spite of what I've gone through, and this is where I get a little bit like, with people, because I'm like, I don't think people realize, especially like there are a lot of people who are crying poor when they're not. Like they haven't come from poor. They don't understand what it's like to like fear turning the heating system on. They like, which is where I've come from quite recently, living in a house with no bricks on the outside, with mold on the walls in the kids' bedroom and in the office. Like it's demoralizing. It's horrible. And I was so driven to get out of that situation. I felt so crappy that I was in that situation, and it was a must. It must. I must find the way. And here's the thing: is that if you're committed just to one way, this is the way it's going to be. Well, no, be committed to the result. Be okay with being flexible as to how you get there. So I think that one of the biggest things is if you haven't got a big enough why, no amount of education is going to get you there. Yeah. So get really clear with your why. And so
to close up, let's look at the questions that you guys shared here. So I know there was a question about JVs and the role that that had in your success. Then I know that Kristen had some questions about...
Lost, is that cool?
Huh? Yes, one by one. Yes. So let's talk about JVs.
Okay, cool. So we'll go up to, what was the exact question?
So the question was, let's find it here. Yeah, so let's see. There's no such thing. So it was what role JVs had. Oh, here it is. Did you find JVs helpful during your journey?
Oh, brilliant question. Yes, I totally did. Okay, so the pathway to the first million, like if I broke that up into what type of traffic, so we as entrepreneurs, we need to know what type of traffic we've got. We've got hot traffic, warm traffic, cold traffic, and then, you know, are you going to pay, like buy your way in with traffic, or are you going to earn your way in, like building a community, then sell to the people? Yeah. So for me, JVs are like if we looked at my statistics from in terms of my very first million, probably 97% of the first million was off of the back of cold traffic, like Facebook ad to webinar to cold traffic to then a sale. And then the other money that came through is a 97. Yeah, it's about that 95-ish%. I'll put it down a little bit. 95% was cold traffic, and then the other 5% would be through joint venture partnerships, like doing joint venture webinars with people, and where they would host me and then I would host them and all that sort of stuff. Do I love JV webinars? I didn't back then because it's a different game. But to be honest with you, like I think that in this day and age, like JV webinars are a fun place to rock it out. And Alex Elliott, who's one of my clients, she was like, "Oh, I can't wait to get into Facebook ads." I said, "Stop! Don't do Facebook ads. Go do your JV thing." She's like, "Okay." So yeah,
she was just talking about how she crushed it. Also, way to go, Alex! You did amazing.
Oh, she's amazing. She absolutely is amazing. Cool. So
next question we have Kapow. How do you identify how to stand out from the crowd, find your tribe, and how can you best serve? How do you take action on it?
Okay, so Kristen, brilliant question. How do you identify how to stand out from the crowd, find your tribe? And okay, so in terms of standing out from the crowd, it's so super important from a branding standpoint. And obviously, Kristen, we get to work together on that, which I'm super excited about. I'll help you personally with this. But for everyone here, like, if you go into the marketplace and you try to be like everyone else out there in the marketplace, you're going to find it very, very, very hard. So for me, I had to, I'm louder than people in the marketplace. I'm brighter than people in the marketplace. I'm okay with that. Do I cop some flack for that? Yes. Do I? But here's the thing is that I play to my strengths. Just like I'm actually an ambivert. Most people think that I'm just an extrovert, but I'm actually an ambivert. So I play to my strengths and make sure that the brand that I'm bringing to the marketplace is authentic and it's right for me, and it speaks to the pain points and the desires of the person out the other side that I'm seeking to serve. And those two things there are incredibly important. And how can you best serve? You best serve, honestly, girl, serve best by my secret, which is not really a secret. I'm actually an empath. So I actually am able to feel things in a different way than people who are non-empaths. But people can still be empathetic. So it's about empathy. It's about caring. It's about, like, people know that I care. People know that I care. People join the stuff because they're like, Liz Benny actually cares. I'm like, yes, I actually care. Yeah. I actually still to this day, like, write emails to customers. I send stuff to people. Yeah. So, and then how do you best take action on it? Honestly, testing, like, you've got to see what lands. Like, Kapow started out as something that wasn't what it is now. And my stuff, like, I know now when I launch stuff, it's going to land, but it's the beautiful test and tweak, test and tweak, test and tweak. How did it go? Cool. What could be better? That. How did it go? Cool. What could be better? That. How did it go? Cool. Like, and it's test and tweak, test and tweak, test and tweak.
Hashtag test and tweak. It's so important for us entrepreneurs. And then the last question was, How do you know you're working on your most important thing?
How do you know what? Sorry, how do you know you're working on the most important thing? Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of the time, entrepreneurs get sideswiped with lots of different things that they can be focusing. So they can be focusing on. For me, it depends upon what stage you're at in business and what's the most important thing at that point in time. So for a lot of people, they want to go ahead and create an online program, but they're not quite at that stage where they've got enough credibility in the marketplace. Or maybe they don't have enough cash reserves, or maybe they don't have the audience. Because again, like it's like, are you going to buy your way in traffic-wise, or are you going to earn your way in traffic-wise? So how do you know? It's based on where you're at and where you want to go and what the right next move is for you. But here's the thing: is what most people do is they they try to do too many things at once. So there is a beauty in simplicity. So Kristen, I know for a fact, like you've got an agency right now and you're looking to get out of the agency. Well, right now, one of the most important things is to make sure, and I've actually gone through this exact phase too, when I was making the shift from agency into being a course creator, I made sure that my cash flow from an agency standpoint could assist me as best it could in the building of my new thing. And I think that's like people just, cash flow is very important. So I would, I hope that makes sense. So you look at what's needed in order to get you to the next step and focus on that.
Yeah, I think that's genius. I think a lot of people, I'll talk about my own experience. I started building products and I did not have the audience and it was a very painful, long, and expensive lesson. So this is why we're doing this, guys. So you guys can learn from Liz's journey and just the amazing coaching that she does for all of her entrepreneurs. So wrapping up, if you had to if you had to share 3 takeaways that you think people who are either starting or they're growing, but they're feeling a little frustration and they just want to take their online business to the next level. What are the 3 things that you would say, focus, this is so important, whether it be mindset, strategic, skills, like what are the 3 things that you would say, these things, put them on a Post-it, look at them every single day?
Kristen, I love the fact that you just said, I fear I may have too many products. Probably go and sell a couple of your highest ROI products. That's what I would be focusing on right now. Like sell a couple of websites or sell something that's high profit margin. Okay, so the things that I would be focusing on with everyone here, like everyone. Okay. Number one, I don't want to just blah this one because it's actually quite an important question. Okay, here's the first thing. You have to build yourself from the inside out. Period. My most successful clients and my most successful students are the people that are committed to growing themselves from the inside out. Your exterior, you can have a great looking exterior, you can have a great looking house, you can have a great looking car, you can have a great looking exterior and all that sort of stuff. But I know a lot of people who from an external standpoint, they've got the $1 million mansion, but they are stressed every single month trying to know how to pay their mortgage. That's not freedom, okay? Build yourself from the inside out and make it a daily commitment to building your mindset that is in direct alignment with the person you want to become, right? So make sure that you are building your belief systems, because this is what I will tell you. Your journey is going to suck at times. It's going to be hard. Yeah. You're going to cry. You're going to want to scream. You're going to want to run away. You're going to want to be angry. You'll be angry at other people when it wasn't even their fault. But then you'll tell yourself, like, don't be such an idiot. Like, it's actually like it's just development. So build yourself up.
So number 1, build yourself up from the inside out.
From the inside out. Number 2, surround yourself with a community of people that believe in you. Period. That's it. Because I fundamentally believe, and yes, we've all heard the thing, oh, you are the sum of that, blah, 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 that you hang around with. Yes, but it is truth. It is absolutely 100% the truth. Like, you literally have to hang around people who are going to be there for you, because it is going to get hard, but it'll be easy for them to help you if you are, number one, building yourself up from the inside out, right? So connect yourself, join communities where people are vibing a little bit above you, or at least the same level as where you are, so that you can all vibe nice and high and go to some incredible places. So community. Find your people, find your community. And number 3, let it be easy.
What do you mean by that?
Let it be easy. That's the one thing that I want to kind of finish up with right now. It's one of the things that I said to Cody Jefferson a couple of weeks ago. Let it be easy. Let it be easy. Let it be easy. And he had some really cool things happen in his life. I'm not at liberty to say. I'm not the type of person that just says other people's stuff. But what I will say is this: it's not going to. Is it going to always be an easy road? I want to kind of close up on this one and explain what I mean by let it be easy.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be skills that you have to learn. There are going to be things that you suck at.
Yeah.
And it's not going to feel easy a lot of the time. And but you can choose for it to I'm just going to let this be easy. I'm just going to let this be easy instead of forcing. And where is it? Where is the way through? Which is a very like, drive, energy. I'm going to let this be easy.
So your mantra for today, guys, let it be easy. Write a little Post-it on your wall, and you're going to include work on yourself, build yourself up from the inside out. Number 2, work on your tribe, build your tribe. If you already have one, love on them, be there with them. If you don't have a tribe that's at your level or, pushing you, challenging you, find a tribe. And, Queen of Kapow here has an incredible tribe that I really invite you guys all to join. It's such a beautiful community that you've built. And then number 3, over here, let it be easy. So I want you guys to write out your little Post-it, put it on your wall, look at these every day, and keep showing up for yourselves, keep showing up for your business. Know that what you're doing in the world matters. And a massive Kapow thank you to Liz Benny for joining us here. You guys can all show her your love. Let her like just Kapow, love. So great to have you here. Thank you for sharing more about your journey, your insights, your lessons, the hard points, and being so raw and real, and for sharing your love with everybody on the internet and beyond. And that's part of it. And we can tell that you care. We can tell that you love. We can tell that you have a huge heart. So it's been such an honor and such a pleasure to have you here. And until next time, guys, sending you all so much love.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Okay.